Aloha everybody, what's up? How are you doing on this charged evening? Depending on where you are, of course. Maybe it's morning for you. Maybe it's afternoon. Many of you aren't going to even catch this live, so who knows where and when you'll be when you receive this message. So I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling the cards. For those of you who have been here before, thank you for returning to the activation portal. And for those of you who are new to the activation portal, these readings happen once a week. We've been doing them for years, and people tune in from all over the world, and we kind of create this global network. And we just connect the dots and be present together and receive a message as one unit. So go ahead and let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. As usual, I'm tuning in from Sedona, Arizona, the land of the vortices, the vortexes, the red rocks, the beauty, heaven on earth. Where are you at? Let me know in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. Just breathing out some of that energy from the day. I've had a really charged up day. I don't know about you guys, but I'm already feeling very activated. So I gotta be here now. The full moon activation is always about seeing the full picture of what's been going on all month. Okay, we still have another week to go because we have the final quarter. So the full moon is that point where we're already 3 weeks into this cycle. We're understanding really what's happening now. We have the whole picture. It's all there, fully illuminated for us to see. And then the week ahead will be a week of examining that picture, studying that picture, really being with it, not rushing to do anything about it, but first just processing it. Just even taking it in, not even processing it yet, right? And then next week when we meet, we'll be ready to process more fully and integrate what we are now receiving together as one. Okay, so this is the point, again, we're 3/4 of the way into the cycle. And this week is all about examining the fullness of the picture. I have both my tarot cards out and my Hebrew cards. For those of you who have never seen them before, I make them myself. I hand drew the letters, scanned them, filled them with some stars. It looks like this. They're super cool. So I have both of these decks out. So just take a moment to be here. Whatever thoughts you've been carrying all day, all week, all month, just for this moment, set it aside. If you want to welcome those thoughts back in after this activation, you can, and they'll be waiting for you there, and it's up to you what you want to do with that. But for now, just open up to receive. Thank you, archetypes, faces of the one, in advance for this message that you are about to reveal to us. Okay, I have 3 cards out on the table. I have a challenge. The current challenge is always a key, right? So we'll go straight to that. We'll start with the challenge, which also becomes the gift as you shift your response to that challenge. The card below it that I pulled is why we're going through this challenge. What is it for? Kind of to give us a little bit of purpose, you know, to feel intentional in moving through this challenge right now. And then the card I pulled at the top was the one Hebrew card I pulled, one Hebrew letter, for our ally as we move through this. Okay. The challenge is 9 of Cups. 9s are endings, whereas 10s are endings and new beginnings. And we're talking about cups, so the primary elemental association is water. And that has to do with emotions, feelings, and the heart. So when you see 9 and the element, we're starting to understand that this card is representing an ending as far as emotions, relationship, feeling, heart. So it's about completion and fulfillment of the heart. Because when we're talking about endings of the heart, what is the goal usually when we say that? Like an ending of the heart, it's like reaching a new level of fulfillment. Okay, this is like filling up the cup. When you see this card, 9 of Cups, you want to think full cup. Okay, it's complete, it's full to the top. Essentially, we want it to get overflowing, right? And that there's another card for that in the deck. This one specifically focuses on getting to that point where the cup is full, where the grail of the heart is fulfilled. And this is a card in the tarot, so it's not like it happens once and that's it. The cup is always growing, and so there's always more to fill. But this is telling us that right now our focus is here, or should be here. What are we doing to fill up our cup? This is the challenge right now. Is this man proud of his accomplishments of the heart? Because that's what these cups are. They look like trophies, right? These are his accomplishments and fulfillments of the heart. Is he happy with them? Or is he maybe not really appreciating them? Is he being boastful of them, kind of bragging about his achievements rather than really being grateful for them? We don't know. So it's all about the response. It's all about the response. So right now, if this is the challenge, it's asking us to look at what are we thinking, saying, and doing right now that is feeding this vision we have for our heart's fulfillment. First of all, do you even have a vision of what it should look like and what it should even feel like when your heart is full? Do you have a vision and a feeling of that? And then once you have that feeling and vision, how much of your energy are you dedicating to meditating upon this vision and cultivating the feeling that comes with this vision? Once you have that locked in, once you know what it is your heart is after, then you can start to align your thoughts, your speech, and your actions with that plan. And a lot of us have this plan already, but it's more unconscious, or it's less intentional. It's just kind of like a natural thing. Like we're naturally always seeking our heart's fulfillment. But it's only when we add our conscious awareness and our attention to the details of that vision that we start to really make things happen, that we start to really step into that role as creator. Because we're not the one creator, we can only be that together as one, right? But we're microcosmic versions of that. So how deeply can you sink into the details and the feeling of this vision of the heart's fulfillment? Again, you might find yourself saying, I already do that. I'm already going after what my heart wants. But how specific are you being? Like, what's your strategy? Like, are you dedicating the first most important moments upon awakening every morning to envisioning the fulfillment of your heart's desire? And are you doing it every night as you drift off to sleep? And how many times a day are you bringing your awareness back to that space, back to the center where the heart is? Because that's where the desires of the heart are revealed. So you have to, throughout the day, keep bringing yourself back to that space. And especially when you're in a state of meditation, or you're just waking up, or you're just going to sleep, your brainwave state is different than it is throughout the day. And those are key times to insert that vision. Be honest with yourself. Have you really been doing that? And have you been doing it often enough? Could you do it more? I hear you, some of you say, I am doing it. Can you do it more? Can you do it more? Because energy flows where attention goes, right? Or you guys know the saying, right? So how much of your attention and your conscious awareness are you giving to this strategy of achieving your heart's fulfillment? And so another thing that comes with this as a challenge is ask yourself where you are maybe bragging about, anything that is a matter of cups and the heart and emotions. Where have you been bragging about relationships, or how you're showing up in relationships, or about how much you give from your heart? And where can you be more grateful and humble about those things that you offer, and also about what's being offered to you? Because it's not just about you as a giver. You're constantly receiving as well. You're always both giving and receiving. So where can you see how you maybe have been more boastful or ungrateful instead of just being present and grateful and humble and really appreciating the love in your life? So it's really about asking ourselves, maybe some of you are saying, I haven't quite been ungrateful. Again, okay, that's fine, but could you be more grateful? Where could you insert more gratitude? So we're all at different levels of this challenge because we're all in different places in our lives. We're all at different levels of awareness. But no matter where you're at, no matter where I'm at, this archetype is present for all of us, and we're experiencing it at different levels in different ways. So some of us may be more ungrateful, and we need to really transform that lack of gratitude into actual thankfulness and gratitude. And some of us are maybe more neutral, and some of us maybe are already grateful. But there's always a deeper level of gratitude to achieve. I heard a rabbi say this once, and I always share this. I love what he said. He said, as we grow in life, we have to stretch the cup of our heart, the grail of our heart. We have to grow it because there's always more to put in it. There's always more love to fill that cup. So it just overflows, right? So it's like we need to prepare to receive that love. We need to prepare the vessel that we are to receive the love. So with that said, how are you receiving the blessings of love in your life through your relationships, through your own self-reflection of your own expression? How are you reflecting upon that with thankfulness and gratitude for the love that you are, for the love that you give, for the love that you make, and the love that you take? How present are you through that process in all of its expressions, in all of the relationships with yourself, with others who are just yourself? But how present and how thankful are you being for that? Where in your life is your heart feeling so fulfilled and you maybe just haven't taken a moment to pause and reflect on that? This is the challenge right now. Taking a closer look at our lives and asking where we can be more grateful for the blessings of the heart's fulfillment that's already present. Like, for example, yeah, there are many things that could fill up my heart. There are infinite things that could fill my heart because there are infinite things, because energy is infinite. And so I can keep finding ways to be grateful because there's so much magnificence within and all around. But I'm going to look at what is already being fulfilled in my life right here, right now. And I'm going to think of that, and I'm going to really sink into the feeling of it. And from there, I can begin to create more of that in my life. So, for example, what I might do is say, wow, I'm so grateful for the work that I do. I'm so grateful for all of the relationships in my life, my clients, my friends, my family, all of the life on this planet and beyond. Wow, I'm instantly feeling fulfilled. Wow, I'm instantly recognizing that my cup is already overflowing. And when you get to that place of already feeling like your heart is so full, it's overflowing, then everything else in life is a cherry on top. Then you have a proper foundation to move forward, to be the love that you are, to give and receive infinite love, because you're starting off with that foundation of an overflowing cup. If y'all are into tarot, and I see you are because you're still here, and there's 64 of you watching live with me right now, there's a card in the deck called the Ace of Cups. You can Google it. You will find so many beautiful depictions of it out there in the tarot art world. But basically, it's just a grail that's overflowing. Put that on your altar. Aces in the tarot represent the unlimited power of the element that's pulled. So the Ace of Cups then represents this initiation of the power of the heart overflowing. The Ace of Cups is all of the raw power of the element of water. So check that art out, put it on your altar. If you want to know more about how to use the tarot in this sort of a way for real high magic, then you can check out my book, you guys. It's all in there. The way that I do tarot is quite different than what you find in modern books, and I share so many of my personal tips and secrets, things that I've learned on my path in my books. So reach out if you're interested in learning more about this, okay? So going back to this, the challenge is recognizing where in our lives the cup is already overflowing, focusing first on that so that we have a good starting point into the stream or flow of continuous gratitude. Know what is already fulfilling us right here, right now. And then from there, ask, how can I be more grateful for that? How can I be more grateful for all of the opportunities for more fulfillment in my life? And why are we doing this? Okay. There's like so much coming in all at once for this. This is the 5 of Wands. And because it's Wands, it's telling us to focus on the spiritual dimension. It's the fire element, which has to do with spirit. And 5 is about competition in the world of senses. And these guys here are they're fighting. They're clearly fighting, but no one's actually hurt. Okay, but they're clearly fighting. See how no one's got a bruise? They all look perfect, actually. And there's a message there. They're showing nobody hurt because it's saying that this is about a competition, not like what you're seeing here with your human eyes, but understanding that what's happening here is a representation of energetically what's happening, spiritually what's happening. So it's about competition, yes, but putting ourselves out there, and all of us, not just one person, but group energy, collective energy, we're putting ourselves out there. We're putting our ideas out there to be heard, to be seen. And we're also receiving the ideas of others and seeing others, okay? So that's what this card is really representing. It's not about an actual fight. It's about the goal is healthy competition. But sometimes this energy is experienced on the negative end of the spectrum, which does look like arguing and unhealthy competition. And it could lead to somebody getting hurt, but ultimately no one's hurt here because we know that in the end, pain, suffering, all that falls away with the body when we transcend this world in the end and begin again. So this card is saying it literally doesn't matter what your fears are, putting yourself out there. Don't be afraid of getting hurt in any way. If you're living in your truth and if your ideas are coming from that space of authenticity and integrity, then share, and you have nothing to fear. You will not be hurt. You will only be supported. In fact, you may inspire others by putting yourself out there. And another thing is, when you rub sticks together, what happens? You create a fire. That fire can either burn or it can illuminate. So it's about competition. We're doing this. We're making sure we get to that space of feeling fulfilled in the heart. The cup is overflowing, so that when I enter into the world of competition, which is inevitable, because this is like a representation of what's going on out there. We're all doing this. We're all rubbing our ideas off each other, unconsciously and consciously. It's a mixture. So we're inevitably going to step into this. So this is to prepare us. We're coming into that space of the overflowing grail of the heart, so that we can make sure we're in the deepest position of compassion and love, so that when we inevitably enter into this world of appearances, this world of chaos, the world of multiplicity, we're doing it in a way that brings our highest self into it. We're doing it in a way that allows for us to live with the highest intention. We go into the competition knowing that what we're bringing to the game is out of love and is in the name of the highest good of the one, for the sake of the Creator and all beings, all life. When you have that overflowing cup, and we all do, but when you know it, that's when you can enter into the world of competition with confidence and with oneness in mind, with love, with compassion. So that's why we're doing this. We're getting to that space of the overflowing cup, so that as we move into the inevitable challenges, which, you guys, this has already been going on. Like, there's so much division. There's so much fractionation within the collective consciousness right now. And it doesn't matter who started it, who's doing it, who's contributing to it, and who's not. All you can do is your own part. So we're already experiencing all this. So what we have now is the opportunity to collectively, together as one, return to the heart, and then step back up to the plate, step back into the arena with more compassion and understanding, so that we can transform the energy that's already there from a more negative to a more positive one, to, you know, a less futile and more conducive one for our highest good. Okay, so we're taking a step back now. We're getting right with that grail of the heart. We're making sure that we're being grateful and that we're actually working toward not only our own heart's fulfillment, but the one heart's fulfillment. We're not only seeing our own heart overflowing, we're seeing our one shared heart overflowing. And when we really get back to that space, then we're ready to go back into this crazy ass world with everything that's going on and be the best version of ourselves and be the most compassionate we can possibly be. Understanding that as we go out there and as we put ourselves out there and share our ideas, we have the best intentions. And it's only to create more light. We're here to share ourselves, to give of ourselves so that we can create more light. We're not here to burn each other. We're not here to create a fire that's going to burn. We're here to lift that fire higher in a way that's going to illuminate this world that we share. That's why we're doing this. So get right with your heart. Get back into the space of gratitude. And don't leave the meditation until you're really there, until you feel prepared to carry that overflowing cup with you everywhere you go. You guys, we can't hide. We have to put ourselves out there. We can't be afraid of getting burned. Remember, even if other people come out and they bring negative intentions and you're trying to bring this good intention and you feel like other people, don't get sucked into judging what they're doing. You keep doing you, because the quality of your fire will be so much more powerful than what they're bringing into the game. It doesn't even matter. And you focusing on them will only take away from your own fire. So carry your intention. Don't be afraid. If they're bringing that negative fire or whatever, if they're bringing that fire that burns, you have nothing to fear, because your flame will protect you like a shield. Your flame will protect you. And even if you got burned, is anything outside of the divine plan? No, everything is always in perfect order. So trust that you are in the perfect place, and all you can do is be yourself and speak your truth confidently, because any doubt or hesitation will only reveal a lack of confidence. Not just in yourself, but in yourself, the one of which we're all a part. So step into the world. Don't be afraid. You have to give yourself, but learn first how to do it with confidence and love. The challenge has been coming back to that place of compassion. Get there first, and then reapproach the world with confidence from that space. The ally right now, Hebrew letter, and I've actually talked about this letter today, is the Gimel. It's the third letter of the Hebrew Aleph Bet. And it kind of looks like a foot. Like, to me, it's kind of like, it looks like a high heel. But they say it looks like a foot. They. And the Gimel is all about action. It's the third letter of the Aleph Bet. 3 is all about action, just like the third card of the tarot, the Empress, also known as the Unveiled Isis. 3. So the Gimel shares the same secrets as Arcanum 3, the Empress in the tarot. And it's about action, and it's about knowing the right action to take. Sometimes you want to just keep giving. You want to just keep giving and giving and giving. You don't realize that the thing you're actually supposed to give is your silence or space. Sometimes less is more. So sometimes we're meant to give, and sometimes we need to just step back. Okay? When you think of the forces of mercy and severity, right? These are like Kabbalistic terms. These are like Freemasonry. You may have heard of the terms, mercy and severity as left and right pillars of the path, right? And you're walking the middle path between them. Sometimes what we need to give is mercy, but sometimes what we need to give is severity. So the Gimel is about gifting, and punishing. They're both positive. They're both necessary at different times in different situations. Sometimes a situation needs more of that mercy and that gentleness, and sometimes a situation needs more severity. It needs more of that strict energy. And essentially, these two forces come down to being the masculine and the feminine forces. The forces of polarity, the forces of receptivity and activity. These forces exist within all things. So the Gimel is really about how are you using these forces in harmony? How are you trusting that sometimes one of the forces needs to move through you and sometimes it's the other one, but they both work for the same one, which is you. So this is the ally. So it's saying as you return back to your heart, as you come back to this place of the overflowing heart, and you step into the world of multiplicity and challenge and competition, meeting with others, sharing your ideas, and also receiving, make sure you remember the power of the Gimel. Make sure you understand that even when you're coming from this place of compassion, the overflowing heart, when you step into that field, sometimes it takes tough love. Sometimes when you're out there and you're talking to other people, you're dealing with other people, that compassion, that expression of compassion actually looks more like severity than mercy. Sometimes it looks like boundaries. And that boundary that you're setting is not just for you, it's for you, which everyone is a part of. So you setting a boundary towards someone, it's also actually for them. It's for everyone. So as you express this compassion while you move through the world of challenges, know that it doesn't look like all butterflies and rainbows. It's not always about gifting and kindness and gentleness. Sometimes it's about being harsh and straightforward. And that still can be compassionate. You know, and if you feel that expression is not compassionate, really check in with yourself and make sure you're being honest and ask yourself, why do you feel X, Y, or Z is not compassionate? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was said a little too harsh and it was too much on the end of severity. There are times where things can come out too cutthroat, too mean. And I'm not saying to go there. But I'm saying sometimes you have to be straightforward. Sometimes you have to be a little less fluffy. And be careful. Someone might try to tell you, that's mean. That's not a healthy boundary. You're just being mean. You'll get all kinds of responses. So that's why it's important to really get right with yourself and understand what the expression of both mercy and severity looks like when it comes through you with compassion. Because remember, both mercy and severity work for compassion. There's only one here. We're all working for that one. So both mercy and severity, both the forces of receptivity and activity, masculinity, femininity, they all work for the same one boss. And that's the light of compassion. That's God, source, Allah, creator, whatever you want to call it, great spirit, whatever you want to call it. So make sure that you remember your ally, Gimel, who knows when to be firm and when to be soft as you move through this world of challenges. It doesn't mean you have to come out of a place of compassion. In fact, if you step out of that center and you come out of that space of compassion, then your expression won't be balanced. Then whether you're acting out of mercy and severity, it still won't be with compassion. Compassion should be behind both. And compassion is not just fluffy. Again, compassion is understanding. Compassion contains all virtues. Compassion is the all virtuous light. So when I say behave with mercy or behave with severity, with compassion, what I'm saying is have that understanding. Have patience, whether you're being gentle or firm. You still got to have patience, right? And whether you're being gentle or firm, you still have to be honest, right? And whether you're being gentle or firm, you still have to be caring about life and protecting life. Wanting to prolong life. You're not, whether you're being in a frequency of mercy or severity, you still care about life. It's not like all of a sudden you're being firm with someone and you don't care about them or you don't care about their life. In fact, you do care about their life, and that's why you need to set that boundary. So again, when you're coming to a position and you're trying to decide whether you should be gentle or firm, or you should be acting with mercy or with severity, just make sure it's coming from compassion and you're good. If you feel like, for example, you have to be a little more severe and you have to be more intense about your boundary with someone, before you do it, take one moment to really make sure to review that you're going to do this with compassion and ask, what would that look like? What would that feel like? And then once you do it, you'll do it with confidence. Okay? The point is being confident in your decision, whatever that decision is, whatever you choose to express, you have to do it with confidence and with compassion. Those are the keys. Confidence and compassion with your decision and the expressions that follow that decision. So again, remember, I think the harder one for most people anyway is behaving with severity and is behaving more harsh, because we've been programmed to believe that that's mean or that's rude or you have to keep giving. I mean, even as a young child, you're told that's rude that you didn't hug your uncle who you only met one time. Creepy. You know what I'm saying? So we're always taught to give of ourselves. But when you start to cultivate wisdom and really understand that we're all one and move from this space, then you understand you're a part of that one and you need to honor yourself and how you feel. And in honoring yourself, you honor the other who is just another you. So remember that when you need to be harsh or you need to set a boundary or you just need to be firm with someone, remind yourself of why it's okay to do that. Come to that place of compassion with yourself. Come to that place of understanding so that when you go to set that boundary or you go to speak to that person, again, you do it with confidence and compassion. So let's just summarize what is here. We only have 3 cards. The challenge right now is really making sure that we're feeling fulfilled in our hearts and that we're finding those areas of our lives, we're really examining those areas of our lives where we're already overflowing, baby. That's the challenging part right now, is really coming to that frequency of feeling fulfilled in the heart, so that from there we can continue to fill that cup more and more, to grow it and simultaneously fill it as it grows. That's the challenge. And we're doing this so that as we enter the inevitable world of challenges and competition with others, we can transform that competition that already exists into a more healthy one, into a more transcendent competition that is going to help us really anchor in heaven on earth. The competition's already there, y'all. We just need to cultivate the heart. We just need to really fill up that cup so that we can show up to the competition that's already there and transform it and make it beautiful and show everybody that it's okay to be in competition. That's why we're here. We need to have the conflict so that we can have the resolution. The opposite always lies hidden within. So let's find the conflict that already exists. Let's not be afraid of it. Quite the contrary. Let's welcome it and be inspired by it and meet each other there, right there in the conflict, but with compassion and confidence in our shared goal and intention of uplifting the one of which we're all a part. And the ally, again, is the Gimel, who tells us that we always are taking action. We can't help it. We're here in this realm, which means we're beings of action. We contain the masculine element within us and the feminine, and the masculine element is the one that acts. We are expressions of light. We're moving through time and space. So because we can't help but be these actors, be these creators, we have to be conscious of what we're giving, what we're acting on. And is it needing more of a gentle expression or more of a firm one? Is it needing the mercy or the severity? They're both compassionate. They can both be expressed from a compassionate space. In fact, they must be, otherwise they're not the true forms and the highest forms of mercy and severity. Okay? So pay attention. What is the world needing from you? What are you needing from you? More of the mercy or more of the severity? So move with compassion. Don't be afraid of the world of competition. Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to be seen. And don't be afraid to see others. And know that within the conflict hides the resolution. So not only should you not fear that competition, but you should move right toward it with confidence and compassion. Thank you guys so much for sitting with me through this activation. I hope you've been really experiencing the energy in a beautiful way. And for those of you who've been experiencing it on more of a challenging way, I wish you grace and ease. I hope that this helps. If you have any friends, family members, favorite groups of yours on Facebook that you think would benefit from this message, please go ahead and share it with them and let your friends know that we meet every single week, you guys. And I am trying to be better about giving you an actual time, not be so mysterious about when I'm going to pop in. But please share it with someone who could really benefit from this message. Or share it with people who you think could activate this portal, this message, even further. I just love this, my favorite part of the week. And for those of you who've reached out and purchased my online course, thank you. It's so much fun to go on that journey with you. I think that's one of my favorite aspects of what I do is the coursework. And for those of you who have been giving me feedback on my book, I am so grateful. It's so cool to see all the different people at all the different stages of awareness, all very different, doing different things in their lives, different ages, men, women, all different ages, in different fields of work, all different fields, are reading the books and loving them. Because the thing is this, you guys, we all share the same allies. They are the archetypes. They live within us and they live within all things. And that's what the tarot is really meant to show us. Tarot means royal path. And there's only one path, and it's all of life. And we're walking it together. And with that said, if you want to continue to connect in between these activations, I have a private group on Facebook called The Royal Path. So you can go ahead and join us in there if you'd like. I also have one more private group on Facebook called Shabbat Crew, Shabbat, and it's where I share about Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. And every weekend I share the current Torah story and the mystical import of that story so you can connect to the code that is contained within it. So if you'd like to join those groups, I would love to see you there. And I am available for one-on-one readings. So if you want to book a session with me, please just private message me or email me at bexmagic@gmail.com, BEX magic, MAGICK @gmail.com. I love you guys so much. You light me up and activate me in ways that I could never even put into words. I'll see you tomorrow in the Shabbat Crew group as I begin to share about this weekend story. Many blessings, you guys. Shalom. Aloha.